What's going on, YouTube? Today we received some great news in the Brawl Stars community. That's right, the first 5 maps for the 15-0 challenge have been released, meaning that you all can go ahead, get started in prepping if you are one of those competitive teams that wants to qualify for this year's monthly qualifiers. The format is going to be the exact same it has been in the past. I know that competitive is going to be in the PL format, but for monthly qualifiers, it would be way too difficult to organize all that, so I'm sure that's why they're doing it in the traditional random draw and blind picks kind of format. There's gonna be some new modes in this one. Knockouts getting incorporated, some newer maps, some older maps. We get a little bit of a mix of everything. Also a note too, it's going from Thursday to Saturday, not from Friday to Sunday like it has been in the past. In this video, we're gonna be covering every single map and all the combinations that you could use to win yourself this monthly challenge. Whether you're free to play or the most competitive, sweaty person in the world, I have got you covered with every combination that is going to work to get you those wins and help enhance your ability to go 15-0 in this challenge. And with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into all the combinations you all are gonna need to go 15-0. To start off the 15-0 challenge, we're going into Knockout, specifically Belle's Rock. This is a map you all probably haven't played a lot of competitive Brawl Stars on. You may have done it in friendlies, but not really a lot of data on this. However, I casted Queso Cups. This map was used as one of the competitive options in every single match. Knockout was a thing. So the most common combination at that time was Jean, Leon, and Tick, and I'm going to update it just a little bit. At that time, Grom wasn't really being incorporated, and when he was in play, he was banned pretty much every time, but you have to remember, there are no bans in this. It's all blind picks, so you're going to want to just take the best combination available. You're not going to want to have to worry about bans and things like that. All brawlers are on the table. I would go Jean, Leon, and Grom. Grom going to be one of the strongest brawlers in the game right now. You're definitely going to want to roll with him. His gadget won't get you too much value here, I don't think, but he does have a very difficult shot to dodge. His super does a lot of damage. He's just really annoying overall. He's just a better version of Tick on this map, to be honest with you, and probably the #1 pick overall for me, if I had to say. On Belle's Rock at this time. Jean going to be another good one with a game-changing super and gears being implemented. Jean is just a difference maker. You can really charge that super, get a pull, and your team can focus it. Leon has the lollipop drop gadget where he gets a lot of his value. You can be invisible, help with the Jean shots and such. I think overall that's going to be your best combo. If you're looking for something a little different, Byron, Daryl, and Buzz are going to be a combination that's not too uncommon here. I think Byron's a great play, especially with Daryl, who's arguably the best brawler in the game right now. Buzz, somebody especially in NA that's very dominant. People love to play Buzz, so that's going to be a more aggressive combination if you're into that, especially for Knockout. And then for my free-to-play people, all these combinations, I'm going to try to make them red or lower. Some of them will be chromatic brawlers, but they should be purple or lower by the time you're watching this and could unlock it in theory. So I would say Piper, Belle for a mid, Tick, and then Daryl. Pretty similar to some of the combinations we've seen in the past. You got that long-range brawler in Piper or Belle. I personally prefer Belle in this map just because the traps, the overall kit, but Piper could certainly work as well. Tick, been used in the past, even in competitive, especially when Grom's banned, so that's definitely a very normal one. And Daryl being one of the best brawlers in the game, you charge that super, you get aggressive. Gonna be some good combinations for you on this map. And with that said, you all should be good to go 3-0 on this one. Shouldn't be too difficult, but good thing we get this out of the way early because I know this is newer for a lot of y'all. Next up in the rotation, we have map number 2, which is Super Stadium. We haven't seen Super Stadium in the game for a long time in the competitive rotation, so I'm super excited to get this one back. I love Super Stadium personally. It's probably my favorite Brawl Ball map, honestly. It's a great time. A lot of winning combinations on this map. I'm going to go over just a couple that I think are the best. For me, I think running a double tank combination on this map can be really, really good for your side. I would go with Byron, Daryl, and then either Buzz or Frank. Personal preference, I like Buzz personally, but Frank with the extra HP is going to definitely work here too. I think either of those, but Daryl and Byron have such a good synergy right now. You'll see it later too. You could definitely implement it on a lot of different maps, even in this 15-0 challenge. But Byron and Daryl are both top 5 brawlers in my opinion. When you've got Daryl who's so tanky and aggressive at the same time, he's got that great combination to get a lot of damage done on this map. And you can just charge the super once, you can roll into the enemy, get aggressive, and Byron just keeps feeding those heals. You could go with the Poco double tank combo. I just think Byron provides a lot more versatility in that combination. And the other combination I'm going to mention is going to be B, Spike, and Sandy. This is going to be a more balanced composition, more traditional if you're looking to just slowly play the game. You're not looking to be too aggressive. I think B is going to be a great mid here to counter tanks. Somebody who's also used to be pretty meta on this map as well. Sandy, getting a pretty good spot with gears coming out. Run that speed gear in the right or the left side. Lots of easy peak shots for Sandy, one of the easier brawlers I would say to play on this map. and Spike, going to be one of the best brawlers in the game right now. Absolutely great for the lane and does really well against tanks too, which I anticipate seeing a decent amount here, especially with how good Daryl is in the game right now. For my free-to-play people out there, this is going to be a nice balanced composition for you to deal with just about anything. I'm going to go with B, Daryl, and Surge. And honestly, if anybody wanted to run this combination, I actually think it's a very good one. This is definitely one of the better free-to-play combinations in the entire series. But I think B is going to serve, again, as a great mid here to counter a lot of tanks. Surge, very slept-on brawler here. He's actually very good into squishies. That's a lot of where Surge gets his value. But also, if you just run that teleport gadget, you make sure you get yourself charged up early, run the star power, where you can keep your power to level every time you respawn. Surge is going to be a pretty good player right here. That teleport gadget is going to help him a lot, and he does really well in the lane. And then Daryl, it's just Daryl right now. He's going to be one of the best brawlers in the game. This is going to be a very overall solid composition. You're going to be able to cover a lot of different brawlers that you're playing against. Those are the combinations I would run on this map. Let's move on to our next one. All right, we're moving on to Safe Zone. And once again, there's going to be a lot of different combinations to win on this map as well. I've also seen kind of a surgence in the amount of Byron and Daryl kind of combinations that are played in general with the meta. It was used a lot in the tournament I played in the other day, and also just a lot of Power League, higher level right now I've seen. They're looking to do a lot of Byron-Daryl combinations. That's definitely fine here if you're into that, but the combination I would roll with is going to be Belle, Grom, and Spike. This is going to be a little bit more of that quote-unquote traditional Brawl Stars, right? It's going to be a little longer range, and for Safe Zone, that's kind of how the meta's always been. That doesn't mean that's what you have to go with. That's personally what I'm more comfortable with, though, and going to go with. Belle, with a very serviceable kit, has the gadget she can place down to slow down enemy brawlers from pushing forward. Also does really well into tanks. Make sure you're hitting her supers on brawlers like Daryl, because that's going to help you out a ton to do extra damage on to those tankier brawlers. Grom, just a menace on this map. He really does a great job. You take advantage of those walls, and honestly, you can just kind of run around, wreak havoc, and get those easy chip shots onto the safe. And Spike is somebody that I really like to go against those long-range brawlers like Piper, Belle. You drop that gadget, he can defend himself really well, and he deals with Daryl, who's very apparent on this map. If you want an even more traditional or kind of a throwback comp, this is also going to serve as our free-to-play composition as well. I would go with Belle, Colt, and Rico. The biggest strategy here that a lot of people used to do is they would break the right side of the map. There's a little 8-pronged wall. You're going to pop Colt's gadget, break that open, and that allows for Colt to advance further and your teammates. You're going to be able to have a more open range map, which is exactly what Colt and Belle are going to want. Rico can play the other side against that wall, do that extra damage. Rico going to be somebody who's great here too, but that's what I would go with if you're a free-to-play combination player. For map number 4, we're moving on to Ring of Fire, which is a hot zone map. On this map, no surprise here, we've got Belle, Spike, and Grom for my winning combination. I think Belle is going to be an excellent option as a mid, like I've said for reasons in the past. Great kit, does extra damage to tanks. I think overall, Belle just covers a lot of different options. Grom, one of the best brawlers in the game, going to be very annoying to deal with. Plus, on this map, though, you can capitalize a lot on that gadget with scouts out the enemy grass. You're going to be able to see exactly where they are for a lot of the game. And then Spike as well. Spike's going to be a great lane here as well. He's going to do excellently in general. One that I would say you could maybe substitute for Spike as well. Couple to look for, I would say Meg and Leon are going to be two of your best bets. I really like Spike on this map again. I'm a big Spike fan in general. I think he's arguably a top 5 brawler right now, but I think he does cover a lot of different areas, right? Meg's going to be somebody that's actually pretty good on this map, despite the nerf. Definitely not as strong as she used to be, but somebody that does really well here and does generally well in hot zone. If you can get that robot up, you can be a lot healthier in the HP category. You can do a lot more damage. You got that swing. You can get aggressive. Meg just has a lot more versatility when she's got that super up, and Spike does a really good job of taking it down. And then Leon for the invisibility. You get that super once. You can charge to the enemy side and really get pesky in the enemy bushes and just cause a lot of chaos while your teammates are on the mid zone like Belle or Grom, and just getting those extra boost of percentage for your team. If you're a free-to-play player, I would go with Belle, Stu, and Rico. Rico on the lane, left or right side, use those walls to bounce shot up, do that extra damage. Stu, make sure you're running the speed turret gadget. You're going to want to give your mid and Stu any extra speed they can. It helps out a ton, especially when they're outside the bushes. And then Belle, again, just a very solid mid, somebody a lot of people should have out there. So that's the combinations I would go with. Let's hop into our final map. For our final map, we're hopping into Double Swoosh, and the combination I would run is Jean, Amber, and Spike. This has elements of some traditional Double Swoosh styled gameplay. It's been a little bit since it's been in the competitive rotation, but I think Jean is somebody that should come as no surprise. It's one of the most traditional brawlers on this map. I like Jean because of the game-changing super. If the enemy has a lot of gems, or you just want to capitalize on getting a free kill, you can use that Jean pool, which comes in handy a lot. Jean with the speed gear is also really, really solid right now. Spike's going to be an excellent lane brawler, and one that I don't think people are going to rush to, but I think they should definitely consider is Amber. This is somebody that way back in the double swoosh meta did a really good job, and the object with Amber is going to be taking on that right side of the map. You're going to want to run in and use your gadget, use your super, do what you got to do to burn the enemy grass. That eliminates a lot of speed gear brawlers and gives your team way more control as well. If you can see the enemies and they can't see you, that's a huge advantage for your team, and that allows Jean and Spike to capitalize on their lanes even more. Some other alternatives as well that you should definitely consider. Tara is a very traditional brawler on this map and somebody that could definitely do well into tankier options and is just a solid option in general. And I've seen a lot of Grom being run in the mid here. I think that's certainly arguable. If that's something you prefer over Jean, I totally get it. That gadget as well is so valuable on this map. If you drop Grom right in the center behind that enemy wall, drop your little turret, it scouts out a ton of the bushes, and you've just got visibility for a while until they take it out with a thrower or get to the other side on their own. Free to play can be a little tough on this map, so for all my free to play players out there, I'm sorry, I did my best on these combinations. Again, I try to make them all red or less, so there are other options as well. Again, if you ever want to run some combinations by me in the comments, feel free to do so. Happy to help you all out. But the one I came up with was Pam, Ems, and Rosa. Rosa's somebody that I expect to show up here a decent amount. There's just a lot of ways to counter Rosa, which is why she wasn't my go-to. Ems, always a safe option, does really well into enemy tanks, is one way to address the Darryls and the Roses of the world. And then Pam is actually very sneaky mid here. Somebody that has a lot of HP, can drop that heal turret behind their spawn side walls, and just kind of serve as a very tanky option. Just slowly collect those gems, deal a decent amount of damage. Pam, just a very slept on brawler in the meta right now, and somebody that you could definitely get away with. All right, crew, best of luck in the 15-win challenge. Let me know down below in the comments section if you managed to do it. If there's a combination you all want to run by me, say you don't have some of the brawlers I mentioned. Again, I tried to do my best, especially for all the free-to-play players out there. Run those combinations down in the comments section. Let me and the other people give you all a little guidance, especially if you're a little newer. I am a caster for the game, so my game knowledge is pretty high just from the amount of times I watch this game a week. Best of luck. I know you all will kill it. Peace.